The first time I said no in my career, I shocked myself. I had just finished a presentation, a massive conference in Barcelona, 10,000 people, 4 days, almost no mistakes. The client was happy, and I was exhausted but praised as I flew home. Then came the offer. Come to San Francisco, they said. We've got the next big event for you. And without a moment's hesitation, I said, no. You see, what no one had seen was a week prior to, I'd had a panic attack on the way to Waterloo after work. My whole world closed in on me. I really struggled to breathe. I lost my eyesight completely. And the only thing that was keeping me upright was the cold brick wall beside me. Got up the next day, business as usual, didn't take a day off. I wore a smile, that was my mask, and I wore it well. You see, I had spent almost 20 years in television and events, and for 12 of those years, I absolutely loved it. It was so exciting. I was getting to be creative. I was traveling around the world. I was with similar-minded people. It was exciting. It was thriving. We were the age of technology, and it was so much fun. And slowly, without permission, I started to get more and more excited about Friday night drinks. I longed for the weekend of nothingness, just so that I didn't have to hear my name, and I wasn't responsible for anyone. I looked forward to the paycheck more than I probably should have, because the work started to feel more and more meaningless. I couldn't complain. What did I have to complain about? On the surface, I had everything. But success didn't look like success anymore. And I noticed something else. I had lost my chat, my ability to have really great conversation. I used to walk into a room and just chat to anybody about anything, often big ideas and visions, and it was full of energy. And that changed. My chat went from all my future ideas to busy week, good weekend. All that vision had reduced. No more dreaming, just short-term plans and downloads of my day. I remember thinking, what's wrong with me? But worse than that, I just couldn't tell anyone. I compared myself to others, to friends, to family. Why did their life seem fine and the life that I had spent so long building feel like rubbish? It just didn't feel satisfactory. I knew I wasn't happy, but I didn't think change was possible. It just felt like too much of a hurdle. So when that no came out, I really did shock myself. I shut down my business in December 2018 and decided to take the journey to see what was on the other side. Now, when this version in your mind goes to, this life that I'm living doesn't fit, that's not unique to me. I know there'll be a few people in this room who are internally nodding, who really do understand. You may have woken up this morning, got dressed, ready to come here, and you felt nothing. Not miserable, not excited, just meh. Some of you may have incredible jobs, big titles. You're leading teams. People look to you for guidance, for energy. And yet something feels off. You feel slightly disconnected. You still perform and you still get the results. But work and life just wasn't how you imagined. One of my specialities is breath work. And when I started to train in breath work, I was told we don't breathe. And actually, what was meant by that was we just breathe enough to survive. We don't breathe intentionally, or not all of us breathe intentionally, to thrive and optimize our body and mind. And that's often how we live life. We survive life. We do what's necessary. But don't you want to step into life and feel full aliveness? Don't you feel that you deserve it after all your hard work? We build solid identities around our career. Mine was the hard-working events person, capable, reliable, and slowly burning out. You end up surviving a life, that isn't quite yours. So what do you do when the life that you've built no longer fits? When you're on autopilot and your dreams just quietly rush away? Well, I can tell you, you don't need to make a big life change like I did. You actually just need a shift in focus. And that shift starts with one small but powerful step. And that step is hope. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Here we go. But let me just take this opportunity to invite you so that you can use this time to challenge your version of hope. At the age of 28, we start to rapidly lose our ability to hope and dream freely. When we're children, we're asked consistently, what do you want to be when you grow up? That gives our brain permission and fuel to think about what's possible and think wild dreams. And we believe it. We believe that it can happen. We have no evidence. In our 20s, we work towards our goals with enthusiasm, and we have friends supporting us. And then research shows, come around the age of 28 and our early 30s, that vision and that hope drops significantly. Why? Well, primarily, we have life's limitations. We have our mortgages. We probably have a family. Maybe we have more responsibility at work. But our conversations go from possibility straight down to routines and past memories. So what is hope? Hope is the belief that our future will be better today, and we have the power to make it so. When we lose hope, we feel like life is happening to us, not because of us. Hope is the antidote to apathy, because then we stand in control. Psychologist Charles Snyder created hope theory. He believed that there were 3 key components to create strategy within hope. The first is goal thinking, a conceptualization of a valuable goal. Then there's pathway thinking. This is the strategies and flexibility that we take to make that goal happen. And then we have agency thinking. And agency thinking is our belief that this goal is in our hands. Chen Hellerman, a professor at the University of Oklahoma, he took hope theory one step further. He believed that goals plus pathway plus agency equals actionable hope. And what that essentially meant was when you have any part of that area missing, you won't be able to hope with your strategy. So if you remove the goal, you have no direction. If you remove the pathways, you lack the ability to create strategy, and it remains a wish. And if you remove the agency, you don't have the belief that you can get to that goal. Taria Trent is an incredible example of hope theory. I don't know if any of you have heard of her, but she does have an unbelievable story. But in summary, she lived in rural Zimbabwe and was married off by the age of 11. By the age of 18, she had 3 children. Her dream was to get educated. But in Zimbabwe, it was a man's thing. So she decided that her hope was, as she was married, and something that I forgot to say, as she was married and constantly abused, she decided that she was going to take her children and get educated and get a PhD in America and come back to Zimbabwe so that she can educate the girls. It took her 8 long years. 8 long years of saving the money, of applying, of being abused. But she made it with her 3 children to America. And in 2009, she was granted her PhD. Later, Oprah Winfrey donated $1.5 million to her school building fund. She now works for UN organizations, helping them educate sub-Saharan Africa. This is Chris Gardner. Some of you may recognize him. He has a film out. His film was headed up by Will Smith, In Pursuit of Happiness. This is the story of Chris. Chris was on the streets. He was homeless. And not only that, he was homeless with his son. Chris decided that he needed to make a life for his son, and he wanted to make it in stockbroking. He used various pathways to create that vision. So he started off by speaking to anyone that would talk to him in finance. He got internship after internship after internship, often unpaid. He ended up getting onto the training program of Garner, Rich & Co. Once he was there, he worked his way up and he started his own brokerage. Chris knew that he was meant to make this work for him, but the best thing about what he did was he broke the generational cycle of poverty for his son. He is now a multimillionaire. Now, it's all wonderful having these big stories, but what about something a little bit closer to home? This is Dr. Kellier. Dr. Kellier was a consultant in the NHS. He was known for staying grounded during high peaks in COVID and also leading his team to do the same. Dr. Kellier really struggled during COVID. He found the pressure really debilitating, and he could see that in his team. So he decided that he was not going to leave, that he was going to create and lean into hope-informed action. He created small huddles every single shift and asked everyone what was it that they could be in control of. He created a buddy system so clinical staff didn't feel isolated, and he redesigned the rest space area so that everyone could feel a lot more comfortable. The results were that he ended up being an example for the rest of the NHS. His department had retention all the way through, and his morale and his team stabilized. You know, we treat hope as a soft skill. It's not. It's a mental strategy that we choose to take over and over again. If I could depart anything from this talk, it would be the 1 + 1 + 1 rule. One goal. Think of something that you would really want to do, something that's been buried away for a long time. One reason why you want to do it and not others. And one step. Take one step this week. Now write it on a piece of paper, put it on your phone, and promise yourself that that is the start. The most powerful people and the most influential people that I know, they're not fearless, they're hopeful, because they choose to move forward anyway. Thank you.